To the Unboxed
Creative.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning into the show. I am Chris Colnane, and I appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day to spend it here with me. A couple weeks back, I had a great conversation with Andre Mittwollen. Andre is the drummer for the band El Camino, and he talks about how he joined the band El Camino and gives us a little bit of the background of how the band formed. Also, we talk about what stoner rock is. I had never heard this term before, but apparently a few of the bands that I listened to back in the 90s, which I just called alternative rock bands, were considered stoner rock. So that was kind of interesting. Also, he goes into what inspires him to be more creative. And he gives us the evolution of how El Camino records their album from start to finish. This was really interesting because he goes into the overview of each album and how it was recorded and how they have improved each album recording. So without any further ado, here is Andre Mittwollen. I hope you guys enjoy.
So, well, first of all, on behalf of the band, I'd like to thank you for giving us the opportunity to be on this show, on this podcast, because we've never done such a thing before. At least I haven't. So,
yeah, no problem. I appreciate you coming on and being willing to test the waters with me on this, because this is kind of something new that I've just started. So
cool. Well, I'll just give you some background about our little band called El Camino. I got into this band in the year 2007, and I got to know the band via my guitarist Werner, because we both were apprentices for being a teacher. Yeah, we were kind of colleagues. I learned that he was playing guitar, and he learned that I was playing drums, and then we were like, well, maybe we should do a jam together or something. But no such thing happened until 2007. I've known him for 1 year when he suddenly came to me and said, well, our drummer, he doesn't want to be our drummer anymore. We're playing too hard stuff for him. He's more like the groove, the funk orientated man. And so he quit the band, and that was my chance to get in. And the guys gave me a 3-track demo to, well, rehearse and practice, and then go to rehearsal with them to, audition for the job. And well, we got along so well with each other. The songs were good, the jamming was good. That we decided to be together in a band, and that was how I got in. And half a year later, Martin, the new singer, now it's not new anymore, but at that time he was, he got in because our lead singer at that time, he also had a different approach to music back then. He wanted to do more like, it's called Neue Deutsche Härte, bands like Rammstein and something. And well, it also didn't fit with us anymore, so we were looking for a new singer, and Martin had always said, well, let me audition, I want to sing in your band. And so he did in, I think it was September or October 2007, and that was when he got in. So since October 2007, we are the 5-piece band as of today. That's our background with the band. I also learned how the name El Camino came to life. That was something that Jan, our lead guitarist, and Dennis, our bassist, and Werner, our rhythm guitarist, the founders of El Camino, that was something they came up with, because they wanted a name that didn't really arouse expectations, like, oh, this must be a death metal band, or this must be a black metal band. They wanted it to be more open and, well, sort of like, this is a rock band for sure, but well, not too cliched, not too, I don't know the word. Sorry, my English just crashed. Yeah, they wanted a kind of name open for interpretation. And in a, like every
Like not to necessarily, I guess, associate your name with a certain genre, kind of maybe.
Right.
I don't know if that's
Yeah.
how you were, what you were trying to say.
exactly.
That's what I got out of it, I guess.
Yeah, associated with the genre. That was where my English crashed. Thanks.
That's no problem.
Okay, so in a normal conversation, somebody came up with the Chevy El Camino is a pretty cool car, and someone else
Yeah.
said, that sounds like a pretty good band name too, and so there it was, and it was there to stay, and so we're El Camino. We've been El Camino since then, or at least the three of them have been El Camino since then, and Martin and I joined 1.5 years later. And in this lineup, we've just released our third album, Black Fuel, in May this year.
Yeah, I've taken a listen to it. It's I really enjoyed it. Especially like Spiral, what was it? Limbus, I think it, and then Wolverine, and it was Damage and James. Those were my favorite.
Cool, mine too.
Let's see. So you got, were there any other names that you guys had thrown around, or names before the band had kind of started that were kind of thrown around? Just, I don't know. Just to I don't even know what I'm trying to say.
No, I think I know what you want to say. You want to know if there were any other band name options around.
Yes, that's what I was trying to say.
Yeah. As far as I know, there were not really any other band options.
Okay.
What I do know is that Jan, Dennis, and Werner had already been playing together for like 3 years or something, and they had originally their band was Mihenite, which was a more funky, or a more, not really funky, but a more groovy and stoner alternative rock approach. You know, a little double bass, little metal leads. It's almost solely rock, and their band was called Mihenite.
Yeah, I'm familiar. I'm actually familiar with Mihenite because I when how do you say Vienna?
Werner, uh-huh.
Because I actually met him up in Colorado when I worked up there at the YMCA, and he gave me one of the albums that they had produced, and a little like bumper sticker, which I have somewhere around here. I don't know where I was trying to go with that, but yeah, I was familiar with that, and then I heard like. I was friends with him on Facebook and stuff, and then I saw that he had, he was telling me, well, actually when he was there, that he was trying to form another band, and I guess that was obviously the El Camino band.
Yeah.
At that time, so
right.
That's interesting, because I could never in America, the way that his name is spelled, we would say, I guess, Werner.
Yep.
And I kept trying to say his name, and he's like, "You're not saying." He would try to tell me how to say it, and I could never like say it correctly. So he's just like, he got the nickname V. So everybody just called him V because no one in America could say his name correctly. And he was just like, "Just call me V."
Sometimes I call him Warner, because of the similarity to Warner Brothers, obviously.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I don't know if I'm supposed to say that. Well, but now it's online.
Well, I can bleep it out.
Okay, yeah, he had this band Mihenite together with Jan and Dennis, and they were, over the time they were developing a need for a little more metal, a little more stoner rock thing. They wanted to grow heavier and have lower guitar tunings
Now,
and stuff.
wait, let me stop you right there just for a second.
Yep.
Now, when you say stoner, if you say stoner, I don't know, in America, it kind of sounds like funky, like the way. Well, when what I think of people smoking, you know, the Mary Jane, the you know, ganja. That's what I think of when I hear stoner. When I hear stoner music, at least in America, it's usually referring to funk type bands or like the stereotype reggae, something like that. What I was trying to say was, what does that mean to you? What does that mean?
Yeah.
In German, or I don't know.
Stoner refers to bands like Caius, for example, or well, Ganja is a stoner band here too, and well, what else? Dozer from Sweden, for example.
Okay.
I think the term stoner is in America it would be like desert rock.
Desert rock.
Like this very low-tuned guitars played through bass amps type of music.
Okay. Okay.
Really
I don't
low.
think I've ever heard of that before, but yeah, I'm not really familiar with much music that's outside the U.S. I'm trying to expand my horizons by trying to get a feel for different types of music. So anyway.
Okay.
As you were saying, I'm sorry. I totally sidetracked you.
Oh.
I got sidetracked. So.
No, I was just talking about the need in the band Neonite developing for a more heavy type of music like Caius and other heavy rock bands. For example, Moustache. Jan and Dennis are huge fans of Moustache from Sweden.
Okay.
And well, especially Moustache and also El Caco have a very heavy mix of rock and sometimes even metal. You know, the double leads with the guitars and the sometimes chugging riffs. So they wanted to do something like that, or at least let their music be influenced by that. And they couldn't do it with Neonite because if you know Neonite, they had a female singer, and her voice might have been appropriate for that, but I don't know if Lisbeth actually wanted to play such music. I don't think so. So they formed a second band to live out that passion for desert rock, heavy rock, stoner rock. Well, that was supposed to become El Camino. And yeah, over the years, I would say we developed in a slightly different direction. The stoner rock got blotted out more and more. And the heavy rock and the metal thing became more prevalent in our music.
And now it's time for the 5XW Rapid Response. The who, what, where, when, why, and how.
Who do you look to for creative inspiration?
Okay. Well, that's a kind of tricky question because we're 5 different people with 5 different musical backgrounds.
Okay, well, let's I'm going to re-say this question, but it's going to be for you, I guess, for you personally.
That's also a pretty tricky question because it all boils down to well, everything. It's like I feel inspired by a smell. I feel inspired by a verse of a poem that I read, or of a line in lyrics that I hear, or maybe by a film or something, or even just common everyday life. It's like inspirations everywhere, and especially for me, because up to now I've been the main lyric writer in the band. It's like, yeah, everything can be inspiration, and everything is inspiration to me. If I had to look at it from a a musician's point of view, I would say I have a few drummer heroes and, well, a few bands that I really admire. Well, I can list them up.
Yeah, you can list off I would say like three. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be a lot. I've heard people ask that question and heard answers just like you said. Like, they don't have a certain thing or person that they would look to. But if you want to answer that, that's fine. But if not, we can just leave it at that.
Mm.
So it's up to you.
One very creative inspiration for me was the drumming of Frost from Satyricon, which is a very, very fast, or at least it used to be a very, very fast black metal band from Norway. Maybe you've heard of Satyricon. And Frost is just an animal. He's precise, he's technical, he's got the vibe, he's got groove, he's got everything in his drumming. He was a huge inspiration for me, though I'll never be that good. But never mind, I haven't got the opportunity to practice as much as he does. So he was one of my main inspirations. Nowadays, it's more like Thomas Hake from Meshuggah, a Swedish gent band, which is like metal with mathematics song structures, so to speak.
Okay.
And he's got precision and technique and also speed, but he doesn't show it off. He's just like, if it fits the song, he can also play very little. And that was very important for me to see that you don't have to play everything you can. By the way, I can't play that much, but what I can play, try to reduce it to fit the song and to enhance the song. That's a new approach to me. Yeah. My singer, our singer Martin, recently gave me some stoner rock records, like from Caius, from Gonga, from Dozer and stuff. And I'm starting to dig that because it's like it's a very conservative genre. You have to have this fuzzy, bassy guitar tone, and you have to do this chuggy riff with high overtones and stuff, and you have to have repetitive song structures and so on. But in contrast to all its conservativeness, it's still very spacey, very open, and I like that. I'm starting to dig that right now.
Okay. Yeah, that's a great answer. For what I was kind of looking for. Also, your first answer of just like, looking at a poem, listening to music or a film or something. I mean, those honestly to me, I mean, there probably are a few people that do influence what I do. I do, I kind of do photography as a hobby, but more of like what I'm looking at and what I'm hearing, like whether it's a song or a film, like you said. Anyway, enough of that. Enough of me. So here's the next question.
One last addition, please, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
Yeah, what just came to my mind was a very important lyricist that I forgot because, as I said, I used to be the main lyricist. Now I want to share the lyricist duties with Martin, and he wants to grow into this task. Like, he wants to write lyrics, but up to now, one of my main creative inspirations doing lyrics or making lyrics was Mark Knopfler. Pretty unexpected, huh? Mark Knopfler, by the band Dire Straits.
Yeah, I know that band. Like, I don't listen to him, but I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's such a great writer. He knows how to boil down a subject to its core and how to fit it into a song with a story, a real story, and I really admire that. So that was the additional answer. Sorry for interrupting you.
Oh, sorry. No, you're fine. No, I'm sorry. Sorry about that. All right. Let's go on to, and most of this will be edited, so it won't. Not your part, but me rambling on about.
Oh, you can also edit my part, no problem.
Okay. Well, I mean, yeah, I just want to kind of get down to the main, what I'm trying to do or what we're trying to do. So, but I appreciate like all the answers that you gave for that. That was really good because honestly, I like I said, I don't know a lot of these bands, and I've heard of Dire Straits, and I've probably listened to a few of their songs, but I'm definitely gonna like check out all these bands and on to the next question.
Yep.
So, sorry if I can go down a rabbit hole and just keep going. So I'm gonna just stop right now. Okay. Next question. What would be something someone could do every day to awaken their creativity?
Ooh, yeah. Uh, well,
It could be anything. It could be small. It could be something, just get out of bed, I guess.
yeah, that's a good point to start with. No, what was I recently discovered something which is quite obvious actually, but people seldom do that. If you go to work, you've got a certain route, a certain routine that you follow, and on your way to work, um, you just should look up, not look on the pavement or the way you're following, but look up. See what's around you, the buildings and or nature, whatever it is that you pass by. I'll definitely be certain that you discover something that you've not seen before on your way to work.
So you're saying just like when you're driving to work or something, just kind of look, not obviously, not obviously going to get in a wreck, but if you're driving or if you're walking, just look up and kind of notice things around you that you don't necessarily. I mean, yeah, definitely. There are things. I also heard another guy say something about awakening your creativity or doing something different every day, like driving a different way to work every day. So, or this one guy, I think it was a writer. I can't remember the guy's name, but anyway, he would drive to get inspiration for anything. He would drive a different way to work every day, just so it would help expand his mind. So he wouldn't be on this routine of okay, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. It would just kind of open his mind. So that's kind of what pretty sure that's kind of what you're saying. It's kind of look up and
Yeah.
kind of notice the things around you, and a lot of times I think people take advantage of or they just get in this. I know I do. I get in this rut, and I'm just going to work, blah blah blah. Just driving down the road, don't really notice anything. I mean, I'm a photographer, so I do notice some things, but it's just sometimes is getting in the mundaneness of work, and you got 10,000 things on your mind. Anyway, that's American for you.
No, I think it's international actually.
Okay. I didn't want to.
I just discovered that 2 weeks ago or something that I hadn't been looking up for a long, long while. I had just been walking to work. I go to work by a train, and then I have like half a mile left to the building, and I walk the same route each day. And most of the time, I'm looking down on the pavement, thinking about what am I gonna do today? What am I gonna teach my pupils today? Will I reach them and stuff? And 2 weeks ago, I just stopped that. I don't know why. It just suddenly occurred that I need to think about something else. And then I looked up from the pavement, and I felt like it was a totally different way to work, though it has been the same way for like 7 years now or something. And that really aroused the impression of, hey, you could do something like that in your next lyric for a song or something, changing your perspective by just a little like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Where do you see your creative? Where do you? Okay. I sound like I'm reading off a teleprompter or something.
Where is it? I can see
Where
it.
do you see yourself in 5 years? No, that's not what I'm asking. Where do you see your creativity taking you in the future?
Well, speaking on my own behalf, I would say that my creativity hopefully leads me to another 7 years of El Camino, because I really feel comfortable with the band, and I really feel we haven't reached our climax yet. And speaking on behalf of the band, I think we all want to change the direction, our musical direction a little bit. Our last album was very heavy rock and even metal inflicted, and we want to change that towards a more doom, sludge, desert, and stoner rock approach.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm looking. Yeah, that's awesome. So when's your, no, I'm just kidding. I was gonna say, when's your next album then?
Hopefully next year.
Okay. Next year. It takes a while, I'm sure. When do you get the most creative?
Do you ask me personally, or do you ask the band?
I'll say you, because that could be 5 different answers or 10 different answers if you have two or three things. But I would say you personally.
Well, ironically, I get most creative when just practicing. In the summer this year, I had the opportunity to practice a lot because my wife had a trip. She is working at the university, and she had to do a trip abroad for studies and stuff, and so she was away for a longer while. And so I took my time in the rehearsal room and practiced a lot. And there I did very monotonous beats and double bass training and stuff, and just to train my precision and speed and stuff like that. And then I realized that the more I practiced this routine stuff, the more relaxed I could play the creative things that I wanted to play. Well, I used to think that Lars Ulrich is a good idol because he has to do a little musical vocabulary, and he's so famous and so rich. But actually, that's not quite true. You have to expand your musical vocabulary to be able to play what you want to play and to say what you want to say. That was what really hit me on the head this summer. So I get most creative when I'm practicing, and then I'm interrupting the practice because I feel like, oh, now there's something in me. I have to put something out which I've never done before on the drum kit.
Why are you on this podcast?
Well, I think this podcast is a win-win situation for the both of us. You get some food for your podcast, and we get some promotion, and we like the fact that we seem to reach some people, and they seem to like us, like you do, obviously. Thanks for that.
Yeah.
And I'm just realizing that your way of asking questions, like the openness and the creativity allowed, just opens up a new possibility for me to think, why am I in the band? What do I want to reach with the band and stuff? Maybe I should report this to the guys. I think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, definitely. That'd be awesome.
So, yeah, thanks for that.
Like you said, I mean, it's a win-win, and I honestly, like, I started thinking about this process of interviewing people, that whether they're musicians, they're photographers, or any type of art or media or anything. I want to interview people that first, I like what they do, I respect them, and also, just kind of hearing what they have to say, and hopefully in the process, them getting some exposure. I honestly, I don't have like that many people that listen to this right now, but hopefully in the future, it will expand a little bit, and we can get some exposure. So I enjoy like talking to people and getting to know them, and also how they interpret creativity, and the things that they do as far as getting themselves off their butt and actually doing something as opposed to sitting on the couch, because that's mostly what I do. How can the Unboxed Creative help you in achieving your goals?
Well, it certainly can help us achieving our goals by giving us the exposure that you just mentioned, and by giving us links and, well, of course, podcasts, obviously, by other bands. For example, I really enjoyed the Snakeskin Prison podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
I really like their music, and I also like the other. I think it was 2 bands on that podcast. The other 2 bands
there was 3, but yeah.
Yeah, right. I really enjoyed all 3 of them, but Snakeskin Prison were really cool. I like them.
Okay.
So thanks for that podcast.
Yeah. Hey, yeah. I'm glad. I'm glad you enjoyed it. That's awesome. That's what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to get people linked up, and to be able to listen to new and different things. Whether you like it or not, that's fine. I don't care. But that was one of the bands that I hadn't heard when I was doing the podcast. The other 3 bands actually only 2 of the bands I had actually listened to. Redefine, I think it was St. Carla. Those are the only 2 that I have actually seen live, and then the other 2 bands I hadn't seen. So it was a really good experience to go and see them and good for them for that night. But yeah, anyway.
Yeah, cool.
That was all the questions for the 5XW's rapid response. Let me see. I guess one thing I could ask is, what is your workflow, or what is your probably more of your process of actually recording an album? Like what do you guys do to get ready, I guess, to record? In a sense, I don't even know if that's probably not a good question.
Well, that's a question about a creative process of creative workflow, and I think I can answer that. So,
Okay.
And also on behalf of the band, not only for myself.
Yeah.
Okay. So normally, Jan, Dennis, and me, we meet in the rehearsal room, and then we start jamming to an idea that someone of the 3 of us, brings up. And if we can work it out and develop it into a song which we all like, then we present it to the other 2 guys, to Martin and Werner. And well, most of the time they like it too, so we got a new song running. We repeat that as often as we need to have an album ready, like 10 or 12 songs. And after that, we go into the recording mode. And well, we've refined this recording mode over the last few years, because it was really a terrible workflow for a first album hit the road. We just set up the microphones, and well, we regulated the microphone levels, and then we hit the record button, and the rest was fixed in the mix, and it was a pain in the butt to fix all the mistakes, to fix all the sound problems and stuff. And Jan nearly bit his computer keyboard, because we always we were just saying like, that doesn't sound that good, and that's not really precise, we have to record that again. And he was just like, we couldn't have done that earlier, could we? So there was.
I think I lost you.
Oh, am I on again?
You're on. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I heard you say bit his keyboard, and then I didn't hear anything after that.
Okay, so that was not so important. So
okay.
He bit his keyboard almost. So that was a very problematic workflow for our first album, Hit the Road. And then we thought the next album will be better. We have everything ready. We'll have better equipment. I got a new drum kit in the meantime, which could be tuned a lot better and sounded a lot better. And so again, we set everything up and then we recorded it, and then we analyzed it. How does it sound? Do we need to tweak something here, or do we need to retune something there? And then we did what we fixed what had to be fixed, and then we really hit the record button. That was a bit better, but for our third album, we really had this sort of more professional approach. We did pre-production on our own in our rehearsal room, and after that, everything sounded a lot better than on the previous two albums. And so then we set up everything, recorded everything, and there was a lot less work, like very little fix in the mix, stuff like that. But nevertheless, it took us 4 years to produce the last album because, we're 5 different people with 5 different lives and 5 different schedules. So there was an event there and an event here, and somebody couldn't do the recording stuff. And so everything was postponed and delayed. And we ended up taking 4 years' time for the production of our album. But we think it was well worth the effort, and we're very proud of it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. So it was a progression. Obviously, you start out and you just pretty much first album you just kind of hit record, and then you get better. I guess anybody that would be out there that would, I'll say at the most, like 3 things that someone, if they wanted to record something, like if they're in a band, what would be like 3 main tips that you would ask them, or
that I would give them?
Yeah, what would be 3 tips that you would give them as far as starting to record an album? Things that you guys maybe didn't do that you know now, and you're like, well, we should have done it this way. So
okay, well, the first tip would be practice your ass off. That is something that I somewhat, I neglected somewhat because, of course, as I said, I've also got a life outside the band, and there's not as much time left as I'd like to use for practicing. So if you want to go to the studio or record something in your rehearsal room, really practice your ass off so you can play it while sleeping. That's the first tip by me.
That's a good tip.
Number 2 would be know what you want to sound like, because of course there is a lot of options in the digital audio software that you can use to enhance your sound and do the FX stuff and something like that. But you can really lose yourself if you have no clue what the end product should sound like. That would be number 2. And number 3, set up a schedule, but don't cling to it. Stick to your schedule, and if there's something like a vocal recording or bass recording or something else, then try to do it in the time, but don't cling to it, because if you do that, you put yourself under pressure too much, way too much, and then the recordings won't work. So take your time, but also stick to the schedule. Find a mixture of both.
Yeah, those are some really good tips. I mean, those are the basic tips that you would think everybody would know, but until you actually like put those into practice, like it's gonna save you a lot of time just doing those 3 things. Those are awesome tips. I appreciate you giving us that. That's awesome.
Thanks.
Okay, I'm new to this, so I'm trying, as I'm doing this, I'm trying to think of questions or things that we can add to the podcast. What would be like a gadget or something that you use to improve your drumming, I guess?
Funny that you asked this, because like 3 months ago or 4 months ago, somebody came up with the idea to buy a handheld recorder. It's the Zoom H4, which is very common among musicians. And you can just put it on a microphone stand, hit the record button, and set the volume, and then you're ready to go. And that's a great gadget to listen to yourself because it has a very clear tone, and it's a very precise recording instrument. And when you play, when you hit the play button, you hear exactly everything you did wrong or you did correctly. So
Yeah.
that's a great thing to improve your performance. And well, even for songwriting, like oh, this chorus doesn't really work out in this place, maybe we should alter it, or maybe we should put it arrange it differently or something. That's a great gadget for doing stuff like that.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've heard of that. I think some podcasts I listen to, I think they use that when they're recording just audio or something. What is it called? The Zoom H6?
No, the Zoom H4.
The Zoom H4. Okay.
Mhm.
All right. I just want to. Yeah, I was just. How can people get in touch with you guys if they want to check out your music?
Yeah, we're on Bandcamp. It's the internet address is elcaminorocks.bandcamp.com, like the usual address for Bandcamp accounts. And of course, we're on Facebook. It's like facebook.com/elcaminorocks, one word, no space in between. And we have our own homepage, our own website, where there's a little more pictures and stuff and news and something like that. It's elcaminorocks.de.
I know that you guys were in I think a Battle of the Bands or a contest or something recently. Did you want to talk about that?
Oh yeah, that was a very cool thing. Yeah, we applied for a band contest called Rock in the Region. It's organized by some officials of the city of Osnabrück. And well, as the name says, it's for bands in the region of Osnabrück, here in northern Germany, in Lower Saxony. And well, it's addressed to young bands, or well, we are not really young anymore. We are all over 30, except for Martin, he's 27. But well, our band is not very popular, not very known, not very famous here. So I guess we fall into the category like a newcomer band. And then last week, no, the week before last week, we had a gig in a small village where there was the semi-final, and we really won that. That was a big surprise for us because we had already attended this contest 3 times. Yeah, 3 times it was. 3 times.
Wow.
Yeah, and
that's awesome.
yeah, but all of those times we just came in second or third because the jury always wanted us to win, but the audience was, well, mainly made up by fans of other bands. So the other bands won the audience joker. And this time this time we convinced both the audience and the jury, and that was just great. And now we're in the final, and you can win really cool prizes there. Like, for example, they invite you to a recording studio, or they spent a photo shooting for the whole band. So that's really awesome. And we're
so
really.
You guys won. Oh, go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
We're really looking forward to the final gig this Friday, on the 5th of December. There will be a big audience, a very big stage with good lighting, perfect sound, and whatever you can think of. So it's a really cool opportunity for us.
That's awesome, and congratulations on the semifinals. That's really awesome.
Thanks.
And good luck definitely to you guys this weekend. And where is that at?
Osnabrück. It's a town in the south of Lower Saxony.
Okay.
Yeah, and we're really stoked about taking part in this event and being given the opportunity to play in front of a large audience with really good equipment and stuff. We are really excited about that.
Yeah, that's exciting. totally awesome. Let me think. Is there anything else to say? I don't think I have anything else. That I was gonna say. No, I was gonna ask you. Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna ask you where you guys were playing this weekend because I saw on your Facebook page that you guys were playing somewhere. So if somebody happened to be in Germany, they could check you guys out. I guess that's it. I appreciate you coming on here, Andre, and that's how you say it, right? In Germany, in German.
Well, the German pronunciation is Andre.
What is it?
Andre.
Andre.
Uh-huh.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
Did I roll the R's too much? It sounds like Spanish.
No, I like
I just don't want to. I don't want to mispronounce. Like I want to when I do the intro and outro, I'm going to introduce you, so I want to be able to pronounce it correct. Correctly as I am able in my English. Not English. Not English. Well, that sounded Australian. And I want to pronounce it, in the somewhat authentic way it is pronounced, because my name gets butchered all the time. So I completely understand. Not Chris, but the last name, full name.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway. So how do you say your name again?
Well, the authentic pronunciation is Andre.
Andre.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But I also I also like your pronunciation. Like Andre is okay for me.
Andre.
Uh-huh.
And so how do you say your last name?
My last name is Mittwollen.
Mittwollen?
Yep, that's right. Good.
Mittwollen.
Perfect.
Okay.
Great.
I've got some German blood in me, so maybe that's fine. That's coming out of me right now. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm just babbling on. Yeah, I'm pretty much done with the show. I just wanted to ask you, how you pronounce your name correctly, so I can kind of, somewhat say it correctly. Don't get offended if I don't, please. And but yeah, this has been awesome. I appreciate you coming on. It's been a great time for me, and kind of opened me up to new, not only just new music, but how I can kind of take your story, and not your story, I guess, just kind of how you guys work, and maybe apply it to my own work ethic, and getting off my butt or my ass, however you want to say it, and getting out there and creating something. But
well, it seems you're already doing that.
I'm trying. I'm not the best host. I know there's so many better people than me, but I just wanted to do something different with people that I really admire, and
I felt really comfortable.
Huh?
I felt really comfortable spending my time with
Good.
you.
Yeah, that's kind of how I want to do it. I want to do it, as a more of a conversation. Not, I did have the list of questions, which I hope, it was okay.
Yeah.
Asking you those, and hopefully the band won't get too mad at me for anything that maybe was said.
Well, if there's one person they get mad at, then it's me.
Okay. I appreciate you, coming out here and doing this. This has been really cool.
Same to me. Same to you. It was a very nice time for me. So, well, here it's good night. I guess your time is afternoon right now.
Afternoon, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, have a great day. Have a nice evening.
All right. You have a good night. Get some sleep.
Yeah. Thanks. So, see you.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed that conversation as much as I did, and I hope you weren't too put off by my babblings about things that probably didn't really pertain to the conversation. Thank you, Andre, for taking the time to just talk with me and give me your story of how you entered the band and joined. And it was just really fun to get to know him a little bit, and also how the band was formed. Again, thank you guys so much. Thank you, El Camino, for letting Andre speak on your behalf. It was really fun, and I hope that sometime we can have Andre back on, and also maybe some of the band members. That would be really fun, and maybe they could do like a live session or something. I don't know. But anyway, this portion of the show is the music portion, and I will be featuring 3 songs from their current album, Black Fuel. So, guys, without any further ado and me babbling about stuff that I don't know, here is El Camino.
Oh yeah! Down this winding black road, down to hell. I'm walking, breathing sulfur clouds. Stripped of everything I have to sell. Yearning for the Lord, you put me out. Oh, my fear, my fright, my ordeal and his delight. I bowed my head and shat my pride, and he read me off my hurt tonight. Tonight. And he read me off my hurt tonight. Up the asphalt spiral, off the drain. Following the sunlight shining through. And relieved of sorrow, loss and pain. Knowing that he loaded it on you. On you. Your fear, your fright, your deed and his delight. Mark my words, chat your pride. Take a walk down that winding road tonight. Your fear, your fright, your deed and his delight. Mark my words, chat your pride. Take a walk down that winding road tonight. 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 Take a walk down the winding road tonight. 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 Take a walk down the winding road tonight. Take a walk down fears. You've tried to end the silence. You've tried and tried to dry the tears. Your tears. Can't move on, can't go back at the end of your track. Can't move on, can't go back at the end of your track. Of your track. You've tried to respark the fire. You've tried to grab the rails. You've tried to reach the wire, the wire. You've tried and tried again in vain, in vain. Can't move on, can't go back at the end of your track. Can't move on, can't go back at the end of your track. Of your track. Can't move on, can't go back at the end of your track. Can't move on, can't go back at the end of your track. Of your track. Can't move on, can't go back at the end of your track. Can't move on, can't go back at the end of your track. Can't move on, no, can't go back at the end of your track. Can't move on, can't go back at the end of your track. Can't move on, can't go back at the end of your track. Can't move on, can't go back at the end of your track. Can't move on, can't go back at the end of your track. Can't move on, can't go back at the end of your track. As every night she's at her favorite whiskey bar, her shadow leads a life of its own. Since that bitter day, it's been a rampant kid on the dirty stool for a throw. It's late again, she leaves the bar and stumbles home. And here's it, follow through the code. The clack and clatter of her shadows, claw and hoof, makes her feel so helpless, weak, and the force came out, the force came out of nowhere. The force came out, the force came out of nowhere. Since that bitter day, since that bitter day, since that bitter day, it's been around them, kid. She's traveling on her way to the railway line. This time, she wants to get it done. Something stops her as she's right between the rails. A few more steps, and she'd be gone. Held back by shadows, clawing teeth and nails. She can't turn around and can't move on. The force came out, the force came out of nowhere.